I just caught my boyfriend of 3 months and my best friend of 20 years red-handed in the kitchen on New Year's Eve. Her excuse? I blacked out. I don't remember anything. But it gets worse. Here's my story. I've been crying for 3 days straight, and my hands are still shaking as I type this. I just caught my best friend of 20 years and the guy I've been seeing for months red-handed in the most disgusting way possible on New Year's Eve of all nights. I've been seeing this guy since October. Let's call him the doctor. My best friend and I were celebrating New Year's at my relative's place, and after midnight, the doctor came to pick me up. He brought his friend along because we had previously tried to set his friend up with my bestie. We were all drinking, laughing, and having a good time. But as the night went on, I noticed something off. Before all of this happened, I genuinely thought my best friend was happy for me. Whenever I talked about the doctor, she always seemed supportive. She asked questions about our dates, wanted to know how things were going, and never once gave me a reason to think she had any interest in him. Looking back now, I keep replaying every conversation in my head, wondering if I missed something obvious. Were there signs I ignored? Moments I brushed aside because I trusted her too much? My best friend was acting extra flirty, constantly throwing looks at the doctor and showing off. At one point, I went to the restroom. When I came back, his friend had stepped out to smoke, leaving just the two of them at the kitchen table. The doctor had his arm on the back of her chair, whispering something in her ear. I felt a knot in my stomach, but I tried to brush it off, thinking they were just talking. By early morning, it was time to leave. I went to the hallway to put on my coat and shoes. It took me maybe 3 or 4 minutes, but then I realized neither of them had followed me. The apartment was dead silent. Driven by a terrible gut feeling, I slipped my shoes off, walked back, and burst into the kitchen. What I saw haunts me. He was on the floor, ripping her tights and underwear off, trying to pull her onto him. He hadn't even managed to take his own clothes off yet. They both jumped up. My best friend of 20 years looked like a deer in headlights. The doctor ran after me, babbling utter nonsense like, "Nothing happened. We were just messing around." I lost it. I cursed them both out, packed my things, and cut them off right then and there. The next day, my ex-best friend called me crying, begging for forgiveness, claiming she drank too much and blacked out. She swears she doesn't remember a single thing. What hurts almost as much as the betrayal itself is realizing how quickly 20 years of friendship meant absolutely nothing. This was someone who knew my biggest fears, my insecurities, and my past heartbreaks. She knew exactly how devastating something like this would be for me. Yet in that moment, none of it mattered. Not our history, not our memories, not our friendship. But here's the kicker. At 3 p.m. that day, I texted the doctor's friend to ask if she was still there. He told me she was. And then he dropped a bomb that shattered my heart into a million pieces. He said they didn't stop after I left. They did it that night, and then they did it again between 11 a.m. and noon the next day. Since that night, I barely sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see that kitchen. I see the look on their faces when they realized I'd caught them. I replay every detail over and over again as if my brain is trying to understand something that simply doesn't make sense. Some moments I'm furious. Other moments I just feel numb. The hardest part is accepting that this wasn't a mistake that lasted a few seconds. If they had stopped after I walked in, maybe I could have believed it was drunken stupidity. But they didn't stop. They continued after I left, and according to his friend, they did it again the next day. That means they had plenty of opportunities to think about what they were doing and walk away. Instead, they kept choosing each other while knowing exactly how much it would hurt me. When I confronted the doctor, he kept lying to my face, insisting nothing happened. But his own friend called me on speakerphone later while they were together. The friend exposed everything right in front of him. And do you know what the doctor did? He just laughed. He sat there and laughed at my pain. I am in absolute shock. I knew the phrase, "It takes two to tango," but I never thought the people dancing over my broken heart would be the man I genuinely liked and the sister I chose for 20 years. I don't know how to stop crying, and I don't know how I'm ever going to trust another human being again. Story 2. The 15-year lie that destroyed my family. A Mother's Confession. I am writing this because I have no one else to talk to, and I am fully prepared for the judgment and hate. My life is completely ruined, and it is entirely my own fault. 15 years ago, when I was just 17, I was in a relationship with a guy. One night at a party, I met another man, who is now my husband. There was instant chemistry between us. Under the influence of alcohol and the spark we had, I made a terrible mistake and slept with him. The next morning, I went back to my boyfriend, and we had an intimate moment as well. Shortly after, I found out I was pregnant. The terrifying truth was, I had no idea who the biological father was. I couldn't get an abortion. To make things more complicated, my boyfriend got drafted into the Army for his mandatory military service. Terrified of my strict father, I lied to my runaway boyfriend. I convinced him that he was the father of my baby. He stepped up, fought his mother who hated me, and we got married. When our daughter was born at 7 months, we convinced everyone she was just a premature baby. I fell into a deep postpartum depression. My mother-in-law constantly berated me, and I would literally run away from home. But my husband turned out to be an amazing family man. Even though we struggled financially, he made sure there was always food on the table. Since I didn't have a college degree, I became a stay-at-home mom. My husband eventually distanced himself from his mother just to protect me. But the truth is, I never truly loved him. I respected him, but my heart belonged to my ex. I started cheating on my husband with my former boyfriend. When my husband caught us the first time, he actually forgave me. He loved our family too much to let it go. Eventually, my ex got married to someone else, but we kept seeing each other behind everyone's backs. My husband caught us again. I literally begged him on my knees not to tell my parents because my father has a very weak heart and the shock could kill him. Once again, my husband stayed. But recently, the ultimate truth came out. My husband found out that our 15-year-old daughter is not biologically his. Now, everything is falling apart. He has filed for divorce and wants to strip his legal rights to our daughter. He is threatening to tell my sick father everything and blow up my reputation if I don't pack my bags and leave quietly. He wants to tell our daughter the truth, to show her what a monster I am while he looks like a saint. And honestly, he is a saint compared to me. My daughter is almost 15 now. She loves him modernly, and he raised her. I always believed that a real father isn't the one who makes the baby, but the one who raises them and puts clothes on their back. But my husband doesn't see it that way anymore. He feels betrayed on a level that cannot be fixed. When everything hit the fan, I turned to my ex, the biological father. He completely rejected me and our daughter. He told me I was just a fling and a distraction, and he wants nothing to do with us. I am so desperate. I don't want to leave this marriage. I finally realized the gravity of my mistakes, and I want to save my family so my daughter can grow up with a father. But my husband is completely done with me. I shortened this story as much as possible, but I am living in a nightmare of my own making. I know I deserve the blame, but how do I protect my daughter and my father from the truth that is about to destroy them?